Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jason and you're tuned into I Speak Geek. So today what I wanted to talk to you about was the reason I switched from my Canon M50 to the Sony A6400. So over the last 7-8 months, I've been trying to hone my craft on YouTube. So I started off with an iPhone and I slowly moved to the Canon M50 and now to the Sony A6400, just because I knew that I wanted to shoot in 4K because I could see that becoming the standard. And obviously, I wanted a camera that I can grow into. So a lot of times the videos on YouTube are done in 1080p, and you know, a few YouTubers they use 4K, and that's something that I was interested in shooting in, just because a lot of 4K TVs are available. You can see 4K on your phone, depending on which phone you have. And with the next update of iOS 14, you're able to see 4K videos on your phone. So I like 4K just because it has a lot of detail. Even when you're going from 720 to 1080, you could see the sharpness in that footage, and even more so when you're going to 4K. So that was a big thing for me. I needed a camera that could do 4K. Initially, I was going to go with the Fuji X-T100, but then I heard about the focusing issues and the 4K being unusable. So it was better for taking pictures rather than shooting video. So it was one of the reasons I went with Canon F50. That and the price of the Canon M50 over the Sony, even though I was leaning more to the Sony. Tech Gear Talk said it best: buy it nice or buy it twice. And I definitely ended up buying the Sony anyway, just because of the 4K, which I was very interested in. So for me personally, I looked at other options for the Canon, and I think the Sony fit my needs better. I was looking at lenses and, you know, just the duration of shooting, because Sony has no limit on shooting 4K, whereas the Canon had a 30-minute limit. So I looked at the EOS RP, the EOS R, and it was the main sticking point for me were the lenses. I didn't really like the RF lenses, and you know, I thought Sony had more lenses that were cheaper. Although the camera was a little bit more expensive, I still had more options with the Sony, and you know, I have to say I'm happy with it. A lot of people complain about the menu system. It is kind of cumbersome. You have to use the quick wheel and dial to select the options that you want, because the touchscreen is only for autofocus. And on the Canon, you're able to actually use the touchscreen to navigate the menu. And there's also a beginner's mode. If you don't know what you're doing, it'll guide you through accessing the settings that you need. But then again, I feel like the Sony, although it has a cumbersome menu, there are a lot more options that you can dial in for the picture style that you want to shoot in. So right now I'm using a hybrid log HLG3 to shoot this video on my Sony A6400 using a Sigma 16mm f1.4 prime lens. And I was using the same lens on the Canon. Again, one of the reasons I switched to the Sony, because there are a lot of the lenses that are similar and a lot of lenses that are out there for cheap. And so that I'm using this hybrid log to shoot my videos, just because it gives me more detail when I'm shooting in 4K. So I also picked up a custom LUT, so I'm not spending so much time doing color grading, where I can just do slight color corrections. And the Canon didn't really offer me that. There wasn't a log on the Canon M50, whereas the Sony, you have log and hybrid log. And I thought about shooting in CineStyle on the Sony, but I think with the HLG3 profile, you're able to make those colors pop. And, you know, that's something that I like better than shooting in the CineStyle, whereas I think it's a more natural look. But the Canon M50 didn't offer me those options. Even though there was stuff I could do in post, I just felt that the Sony was a better overall camera. And especially now that this A6400 has the flip up screen, although it doesn't have the fully articulated screen like the Canon M50 has, it does have a nice screen and you're able to line yourself up with the shot. So I, of course, went down the YouTube rabbit hole before making my decision, and just, you know, seeing the options that I can do with the Sony camera, like picture profiles, and, you know, what can I do in post to make my pictures and my videos look better. And I'll link those below. I watched Creative Tech and a few other videos just to help me make my decision. So so far, it's a little too early to tell how much better I like the Sony versus the Canon M50. But for me, being able to shoot in 4K was well worth the cost. The Sony, all said and done, was $700 with a lens, a kit lens. So I got it pretty cheap, and I'm a big fan of it. I like the options, and I just like, you know, more so the lens family with the Sony versus going to an RP or R for the Canon EOS series camera, because those were my two options really that were kind of, you know, stacked together. But then the Canon R, the Canon EOS R or RP, they both had a limit on 4K footage of 30 minutes, whereas the Sony did not, and I can shoot as long as I needed to for whatever particular video. So it wasn't an easy decision, but I think I'm gonna like this decision because the Sony camera gives me time to grow into the camera. So there's not going to be really 6K or 8K, you know, footage out there widely available, because 4K is not even widely available as a standard for shooting videos. A lot of people are still shooting in 1080p because they know a lot of TVs are still 1080 versus 4K, even though the price has gone down substantially. So it does give me more range there to work. And also the Sony camera is actually a 6K sensor that downsizes to 4K, so you get a lot of detail. And for me going forward, as I try to perfect my YouTube craft, I'm constantly improving my equipment and just how I shoot videos, how I color grade, color correct videos is definitely something that I'm going to work on as a creator. And I felt that that's something that my videos were lacking. So hopefully you could see the difference in the videos, see that I take my time, and just to make it a better experience for you, the viewer. So if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I can tell you what settings that I'm using for the HLG 3 in my picture profile. I can also leave that in the description below. And also, don't forget, I'm still doing a giveaway of the Keychron K4. If you watch my review on the Keychron K1V4, I said make sure you leave a comment on that video. I'll link it in the cards above, and like and subscribe, and you'll be in the running to win that keyboard. And I'm of course still giving it away. We're halfway at our goal of 500 subscribers, so once we hit that 500, then I will go ahead and give that keyboard away. So guys, thank you for watching. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.